Hello everyone, it's time for a new reading vlog, and today I'm going to be reading books with explicit covers. So recently I did two vlogs where I read books with ugly covers and books with beautiful covers, and this is kind of the last one for now. I definitely want to do more of these in the future just because I feel like it's just really fun, and why not? So if you have any suggestions, please tell me in the comments down below. And also, question of the day, how do you feel about book covers that have real people on the cover? Won't spoil any of the content, but I read some good shit. Without any further ado, let's jump right into this reading vlog, and I hope you enjoy it because it's gonna be a wild ride. Hello everyone, so it's time to read the first book, and that's gonna be This Earl of Mine. I am 17% into this book, and I am listening to the audiobook. It's available on Scribd, and I am already having so much fun. The heroine is basically a businesswoman who is 24, about to turn 25. She's super rich, and she has been pressured by her family and everyone around her to get married, and she is sick of it, and she doesn't want to marry anyone and give up her money, basically, and she just wants to do her job, and so she decides to marry someone on, like, a criminal on death row. And it ends up being this guy who is kind of like a spy type of a person, and he is so snarky. His name is Benedict. He is just so flirty and sarcastic and snarky and like super confident and everything, and it is so fun. The heroine is just like, I just wanted to be left alone and like live my life, and then this guy suddenly, who is attractive, is like here even though he wasn't supposed to be. And it's also that, you know, she wanted to be free, but at the same time she's kind of starting to think that, like, no, she didn't want to marry a random dude who just wanted her money, but at the same time she is kind of lonely and she would maybe like to fall in love. I haven't been able to focus on anything for the past week, and I keep jumping between books, but this book, I just on a whim decided to read this for this video and just start this video because I'm just in desperate need of just some super fun adult romances right now. So I'm loving this, and the only reason why I stopped reading it was because my ears were starting to hurt because of my headphones. Is it dealing with any deep things so far? No. It doesn't have to. I'm not trying to read all these books and be like, this is so deep, like, oh my gosh. It's just like, this is great and awesome and fun, you know, because I love romance books that deal with some like heavier, more difficult things, because I feel like it is always so well balanced with like the fun romance love story type stuff, so it doesn't feel too overwhelming. And like, I do like reading about important things, and that way it's just easy to handle usually. But still, it is so nice to just read a super chill and cheesy romance book sometimes, especially when the world is fucking crazy. It is just such a wonderful escape, and like, I am having so much fun and I'm so happy right now, and I don't need the book to have any like deep shit, like, or just, you know. So it's time for an update. I'm a little bit over halfway through the book. It starts off with a marriage of convenience, like I mentioned earlier, and then they basically don't tell anyone about the fact that they got married because they're afraid of a scandal. And so then they kind of fake date. It is definitely really slow burn, but like the best kind, with a ton of flirting and banter and pining, and I love it. And there hasn't been a moment when I was bored, and they keep having really, really fun interactions. And one thing that I didn't mention earlier is that actually Benedict has to like investigate some things, and she ends up helping him. And so there are the moments when, you know, like they make out so that they look like they're definitely not going through anyone's things. And it's just absolutely wonderful. It's not perfect. There have been a few ableist words and things like that, which I was just like, why? Why are you ruining this? So that was a little annoying. I'm probably gonna go read and update you once I'm done with the book. Hello everyone. So I finished reading This Earl of Mine by Kate Bateman, and I actually didn't just finish it. When I finished it, I was like so in love with it, and I was just having so many feels that there was no chance that I could actually describe it in a coherent way. I still don't know if I can describe it in the best way because, like, I suck at describing things when I really, really love them. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. One thing that I just needed to share with you that I think is really funny is that, like, when it comes to steamy scenes in this book, there were like 2.5, which is really not a lot for romance. And it's really funny because I was just telling my best friend about like what I've been reading and what I've been loving and whatever. And I shared, like, I told her about this book, and then I told her about Take a Hint, Danny Brown by Talia Hibbert. Talia Hibbert is the queen of adult romance. I've said it millions of times before, and I'm not gonna ramble about that right now, but read this book if you haven't yet. But my point is that that book is so much more steamy than this one, but the cover, you know, like looks so innocent and like, yes, of course, it's a romance, but just like the illustrated covers don't show you just how steamy it can be on the inside. And then you see this and you think, oh god, this is gonna be really explicit, and then it turns out being so much less explicit than an illustrated cover. So I just found that really funny. So I feel like just in general, historical romance has this brand of covers, and they are this explicit even if they're not really that explicit on the inside. So it definitely depends, you know, like it varies book by book, but I just found that really funny and interesting. So it's time to read the next book, and that's gonna be Damaged Goods by Talia Hibbert. So when I was planning this video, I knew that I wanted to include a book by Talia because I know that a lot of her books deal with really important issues like mental illness or toxic relationships, and I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head. But I just know that her books are filled with joy and so much love and just so much goodness, along with dealing with really important things and like some hard-hitting things and stuff like that. And so I really wanted to include that in here. And one thing that I want to mention is books don't have to deal with anything traumatic, anything intense, anything heavy to be good books, which should be obvious, but a lot of people don't really like see that, you know? Also, my hair is a mess, so please ignore that. And yeah, but I wanted to update you because there's a high chance that I'm just gonna fly through this book tonight. So it is about Laura and Samir, who basically are each other's first love. They were together when they were younger, and then life kind of separated them, and now, like 10 years later or so, they reunite kind of randomly, and I didn't know that, so I think I saw the plot before, but like a while ago, so I didn't really remember. And so I went into it not knowing anything about it, and then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, like they are just, you know, the kind of like running into a stranger type of a thing, and then it was like, oh, they actually were in love. And so instantly they had this connection, but like it was natural because you know that they were in love when they were younger, and so since the start there's already a strong connection between them. Not in the sense that it's sudden and unrealistic. It feels completely natural, but it immediately like made me root for them, and it just immediately made me fall in love with them. Like me and this book, it was love at first sight, which I'm not surprised by. Pretty much every single Talia's book is love at first sight for me, so, you know, I am already obsessed with it, and I'm actually reading it in this, like, ebook form thing that's, I forgot the name of it. It's this whole series in an ebook. I'm pretty sure it's available, and I think it's like £8. The only thing is, it means that I don't really know how far I am into the book, because, you know, it's the whole thing with all the other books, so I can't tell you what percentage I'm on or anything. It is set in a small town, and also Laura is pregnant because she had a husband who was super toxic and abusive. So again, this book deals with some really heavy things, and so definitely check the trigger warnings before going into it. But one thing that Talia does that is absolutely wonderful is she actually has content warnings in every single one of her books. I know I'm gonna love this. Like, I feel so connected to the two characters already. I'm rooting for them so hard. I love Talia, and every single time that I enter the world of one of her books, it just fills my heart with just so many feelings and so much joy and love, and I am here for it.
It's time for an update. I finished reading Damaged Goods by Talia Hibbert, and I'm honestly completely speechless. I loved this book so fucking much. And I expected to. I mean, I literally said that earlier. Talia Hibbert could never write a book that I don't like. Definitely check out the trigger warnings because the book really gets heavy at some points. It is balanced a lot with, you know, like the sweet, beautiful romantic moments. And there's also so many jokes. Like, I laughed so many times and I felt like it just balanced it out so well. But still, there were some parts that were really difficult to read about because both of the main characters have been through so much. I don't even know how to express myself because this book is just absolutely incredible. And, like, the bond between Samir and Laura was just wonderful. Like I told you earlier, I felt it from the start. I rooted for them so hard from the beginning, and both of them were so wonderful and they were so amazing together, and Samir was just the purest cinnamon roll. I loved him. I loved Laura, and I I'm not gonna say that it's my favorite of Talia's books, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely like a god tier book for me, and definitely a book that I will consider a favorite because it made my heart ache, it made my heart full, and made me feel so many different things and so much joy and love and hope. And it's just, you know, the two main characters were treated poorly in a way that no one should ever be treated. And now they finally find the love that they deserve and the care that they deserve. And it is just so beautiful. Like, I can't. Like, I just can't. Talia is incredible. And I don't know how she does this. And it's a 5 star in case that wasn't clear. I wish I could give it 1,000. And I know that honestly nothing could beat this book in this video, and like, that's fine. It is incredible. And you know, I feel like so many people will look at this cover and think, oh my gosh, I'm sure this is just a super smutty book that is poorly written and trash and cheesy. And honestly, like, books that are simply written and cheesy and everything and smutty can be fucking great too. But it's just, you know, this book definitely deals with so much and so many important things, and it's so beautifully written. Like, I don't think I have stressed that when talking about Talia because I get distracted by everything else because I'm not someone who cares like super a lot about writing, but her writing is absolutely stunning. It is so beautiful and like lyrical in a way that is completely digestible. This book is most certainly not cheesy, and there are a few steamy scenes, but mostly I feel like it's about a beautiful, sweet, romantic, and loving relationship, and it's so fucking precious. And I have no words, and I just love it. I could talk about this book for a million more years, but I'm gonna shut up now. I'm sure I'm gonna talk about it again.
So it's time to read the next book, and I am reading Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa. I am already 40% into this book, and I'm absolutely loving it. I have been in such a strong historical romance mood. I think I'm gonna do a historical romance video, so tell me in the comments down below if you would like me to do that, if you would like to see that. Tessadair's characters are always just absolutely wonderful, and just I always feel so freaking invested in the couple in the book, and her books are filled with so much joy and happiness and warmth, and they're so funny and just absolutely wonderful. Okay, so starting with the short synopsis plot summary. This book is about Charlotte and Pierce, who kind of basically get caught in this room, and this couple comes inside and they hook up while Pierce and Charlotte are like hiding, and then that couple disappears, whatever. And then everyone thinks that it was Charlotte and Pierce, even though it wasn't. So they're like, oh my gosh, this is so scandalous. You have to get married. Just, I don't know. I feel like that premise it sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's just really funny. And like that scene was hilarious. And I just feel like it's a really unique and really fun concept for like a historical romance book. And just, oh my god, like already at the beginning and like throughout the whole 40% that I've read already, it's been so funny. And I'm so invested in the couple. And also, this book is pretty short for a historical romance. It's under 300 pages. And I'm listening to the audiobook, which is 8 hours, which is not a lot, or like it's an average amount. And historical romances are usually at least like 370 pages. And I feel like it is great because sometimes the pacing can be a little bit too slow in some places, and then this book, like, I'm just having fun all the way through. So it's time for an update. I finished reading Do You Want to Start a Scandal by Tessa. I absolutely loved this book, and honestly, I really just I really want to read all of Tessadair's books, like just binge all of them right now, honestly, because she is just incredible. And I will definitely do a Tessadair video at some point, whether that's like a reading vlog or like a guide to her books or whatever. So I'm gonna try not to talk about her specifically right now. My heart felt so filled with joy and happiness, and I don't even know how to talk about the book. So I don't remember exactly what I told you last time, but this book was under 300 pages long, and I feel like every historical romance should be, because the convention of the genre is usually over 350 pages. I feel like a lot of the time the pacing in some place, whether that's the beginning, the middle, or whatever, it's just not great. And in this book, it was absolutely perfect. Like, I felt like constantly throughout the entire book, we got some good shit. And I just had so much fun reading it. And it was really steamy. It was definitely more steamy than this Earl of Mine. And I felt like there were so many absolutely wonderful moments between Charlotte and Pierce that were like filled with tension and like playful teasing and just so many amazing moments. And they were together mostly like all the time, and it was just it was absolutely incredible. Like, I don't even though I listened to it on audio, and when I listen to audiobooks I don't really pay attention to the writing, I still noticed how beautifully it was written, and just it was really descriptive and just poetic, and it felt very like romantic. I don't know if that's the right word, but it was just so pleasant to read. And it was just absolutely wonderful. The belief that some people have that, like, you know, books with covers like this are poorly written and, you know, all of that shit is obviously complete bullshit. Because, you know, again, sexism and, you know, it being like a women's genre is just, of course, has to mean that the quality is terrible. Obviously, it is not. Let me tell you, it is absolutely incredible and just, oh my gosh, like I'm not over it, and I just really want to. I already downloaded 2 more Tessa Dare books since reading this. I am going to shut up now, and I am going to, I think, jump into the next book, which is The Scandalous Engagement by an author that I forgot the name of. Another novella, and it's an adult romance about 2 best friends who fake an engagement. I don't remember why, this is all that I know about it, but I was really vibing with it, and recently I read another book from this imprint and I really liked it, so it's time for an update. I am 33% into Scandalous Engagement by Jules Bennett. One thing that I actually forgot to kind of mention last time, I don't know if this is exactly like an explicit cover because both of them have clothes on and you know, it's definitely not as explicit as others, but it still kind of has, you know, that like very seductive vibe. So I don't think I want to say that much more about the plot because it's just 2 best friends fake an engagement, and the reason why is because the heroine's ex-husband keeps just trying to get back to her. Reese, the hero in the book, he kind of steps in and they're both kind of in the public eye, and the hero is a billionaire owner of some, you know, like restaurant things, and the heroine is also in the public eye. I don't know if it's been fully like explained what she does exactly. So far, I am not loving this book. I'm not like, I'm enjoying it. I'm just not fully loving it. The writing is really simple, which I don't mind, but there have been moments when it just feels, I don't know if it's the writing exactly, but just when it feels kind of underdeveloped and not fully natural. Like the way that the characters have been talking and behaving felt a little bit too chill and casual and kind of like strange. Everything happened really quickly in the sense that it just doesn't feel natural, but I am feeling really invested in the relationship and I do like the main characters, so that is like the main most important thing for me. I'm at like 55 pages and I think it's over 100, like 30 or something. So I'm probably gonna just finish it, fly through it. So it's time for an update. I finished reading Scandalous Engagement and I didn't really like it. I liked the characters and I definitely didn't hate it, but like while the book is only 145 pages long, I feel like it took me quite a while to read it. Normally, like sometimes I can read a book of that length in just, you know, one evening or like 2, but I feel like I've been reading this for like a week. I don't normally pay attention to like the writing that much or like the show don't tell thing. Like I never really notice it. But here, these things, I was just like, it kind of, the writing a lot of the time was super tell, don't show. And like a lot of things were also really repetitive. So the main character described the love interest as like super kind and generous because he's a billionaire, and you know, like it was just that kind of cliche that like he's super rich, but of course he like gives to charity and he's super kind and whatever. And while he was super nice and like kind to her and everything, and like he was not a bad character at all, but I was just like, I don't need you to tell me a million times that he's super kind and an amazing person. It just felt really underdeveloped and the stakes felt extremely low the whole way through, but in a way that I was just like, every single problem got solved immediately. I was gonna give it 3 stars, but I think it's like 2.5. It was okay. Wasn't great, but it's fine. It was kind of steamy, but not like a lot, and even that, I felt like the writing and everything, it was just not like done in like a really fun, exciting, good way. It's time to read the last book, and that's gonna be Release Some Tension by Nicole Falls. So I randomly ran into this book on Kindle Unlimited and I was like, that cover, that title, it fits perfectly in this video. And so that's gonna be my last book. It is a novella, and I really want to finish this video up. It took me longer than I expected, but it's fine. So this book, it only has 100 pages, so I don't know how much I want to tell you about the plot. And I don't remember the two main characters' names yet. I'm 20% in, which means I read like 20 pages. I'm enjoying it so far. It's basically about those two people, a dude and a woman, who have kind of been in a casual relationship. They just randomly meet up sometimes, they hook up, and they have a good time. And then they don't see each other for a while. I feel like it's just gonna be really chill. And the male character in the book, he really likes the girl and he is super attracted to her and he just really wants them to be in a proper relationship, and the female character is kind of hesitant. I'm really enjoying it so far. It's been really fun. It started off on a very steamy note. So I think this one is just gonna be really short and sweet and steamy, which honestly I definitely don't mind. So it's time for an update. Please ignore my still wet, kind of messy hair. I finished reading the book and I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. It was really fun. It was super quick to get through. I really liked the characters. It was pretty low on angst. It was just super chill, and it was a really good time. Like, I didn't really have to think about anything. And every time they had an issue or like an insecurity or a worry or whatever, they just talked about it. And if there was a misunderstanding, they like explained it really quickly, which, yes, it made me feel like everything was a little bit too easy, but I liked that there wasn't any miscommunication, because miscommunication freaking sucks. So I really enjoyed it. It did feel a little bit rushed. I felt like some things could have taken a little bit longer, but I did like their relationship. I liked the dynamic between them, and it was just super fun, and I really enjoyed it. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, so if you just want to read something fun and really chill, I would really recommend it. And it actually didn't really end up being that steamy at all. Only at the beginning, and then the rest of it, not really. So yeah. So that's gonna be it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe for more videos like this. And tell me in the comments down below what your favorite kind of romance is. Is it like fantasy romance? Is it dark romance? Is it just normal contemporary? I would love to know. I'm super curious. If you got this far in the video, leave an emoji down below. And since the topic of this video is kind of just romance, leave the kiss emoji down below, the one with like the lipstick, because I feel like that's really fitting for the theme. And yeah, so thank you so much if you got this far in the video. I know that it's really freaking long, so thank you. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's finally gonna be it. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!